Okay, so we kind of left off. I think we moved a keyframe in the last part, the part of the last video anyway. So we're going to insert the third photo, the third and final photo that's going to be coming into this movie. So we'll do that really easy. So we'll create a new layer for that photo by clicking here. We'll rename it Photo 3, similar to the other layers. Okay, click off to, so that layer's there. It's empty right now. But we're going to insert this photo. It needs to come in on frame 24. So if we select here and then insert a keyframe, there, that means that that's an action that's going to happen on frame 24, and then we just need to go to the library, photo 3, and then we can just drag that in. And so that at frame 24, that means this keyframe is going to happen, and it's going to, if we move the playhead, that's when that will pop in. Photo 3 will pop in. So we have the background layer, photo 1, they're in there, you know, from the beginning, and then photo 2 comes in on frame 12. And then photo 3 should come in on frame 24. And they all should go to, I believe, 2 seconds. And that's where the video should basically end. So we're going to create a folder within the layers to kind of organize our layers, because sometimes there can be a lot of layers, and creating folders within your layer panel is a good idea. So if we can create a layer folder by clicking on this button. And we'll just name this photos, because we're going to organize all of our photo layers. Double click, sorry, photos. We're going to put all of our photos in there, so we can easily highlight that and just make sure the whole thing's highlighted, and then move it under. And they should be in the same, I think they should roughly be in this, what just happened there? Yeah. I think they should be in the same order though, so maybe I'll have to make that come down here, make this one come down here. So that's the order that they should be in. There we go. So you can move them around. It's kind of like Photoshop, if you've ever worked in Photoshop. You can move around the order of the layers if you need to. Move them into a folder. So if we collapse that, it kind of cleans up that layers panel. I'm going to leave it open. There's not really that many. I think the book just wanted to show us, you know, that you can organize your layers pretty easily with the folders. And if we go up here, we can click on this properties panel. Just want to talk about this for a little bit. It basically gives you really quick access to the attributes that you're most likely to need as you create your animation. So what appears in the property panels depends on what you have selected. So if I have this selected, it changes, you know. If I have this layer selected, it changes. You know, it'll change depending on, you know, what I have selected, basically. Not a lot, but it does change depending on what you have selected. And it allows you to make quick changes. So if I wanted to change, you know, the background, I clicked on the stage. If I wanted to change the stage background color, I can change that there. If I want to change the, you know, the location, the X and Y location on this position, I can change it. I can change the size here, I think, pretty easily. You know, you'd want to lock the proportions so that they don't get distorted. But anyway, you get the point with the properties panel, hopefully. So we'll position some of these objects on the stage. I'm going to move my playhead over so I can see all of my objects. We're going to go with photo 1 first. I guess maybe I'll go to the library and just select it here, and then it's this one. So I'll select that on the stage. I think it's selected. I think it gets a little bit of a blue box around it. And then we'll go back to the properties panel, and we'll change the X and Y position of photo 1. I think this should be 50. And this should be 50. Yours might look a little different than mine does. But I think it just has to do with I wasn't able to update, so just try to move past it looking a little different. So the X and Y should be 50. And push enter or return, just kind of depends. Enter for Windows, return for a Mac. And then, let's see, we want to go to the transform panel, which is right here. You can also go to Window, transform right here, and it'll make that fly out for you. And then we want that to be on -12. So it's already on that because I did this earlier, messed it up, and I had to redo my video, but I'll just go ahead and put that value in there, push return or enter, and it'll make your photo 1 rotate to that position. So on frame 12 of photo 2, which is where it drops in, we want to we want to click on photo 2 on the stage as well, so we can get that properties panel to show up. And we want the photo 2 to be, the X value should be 200. And the Y value should be 40, I believe. Push enter. And then the rotate value in the transform panel, I'm just going to open it up this way, but you can go to Window Transform if you need to. I'm going to give that 6, push return or enter. And then photo 3, frame 24, we want to change this in the properties panel. Let's see, we need to select it as well on the stage to get that. We need this to say the X value needs to be 360. And the Y value needs to be 65. Return. And the rotate on it in the transform panel should be -2. Return. Okay, so that's kind of what that should look like. Pretty close anyway. It's okay if your stuff isn't perfect, but this is essentially what it should look like. And that's how you would rotate things and how you would position them using the X and Y coordinates. You can also just drag them, but since we're all doing the same project, I think the book just makes everything really precise, which is fine. So with this, the book does talk about panels, working with panels, which is basically, you know, this is the library panel, this is the properties panel. You can, you know, change it, you can close it there, you can bring it in, bring it out with this little arrow, these little arrows. So you can move these things around, click on them, they'll fly out, click that arrow back. I think I can expand this whole thing if I want to, so that they're all expanded. I can bring it back in. So there's that. Just a quick little thing on those panels, how to move those around a little bit, how to work with those. The tools panel is the long, narrow panel that looks like this. Yours is probably different than mine. Yours hopefully is on the left side. Mine's on the right side. I could probably just move it, but I don't really want to. I think I'm just going to leave it there. But there's, you know, selection tools, drawing, type tools, painting, editing tools, navigation tools. And you'll use this tools panel frequently when creating things in Animate. So when you select a tool, the options available at the bottom of the tools panel and the properties panel will change. So if we select the rectangle tool, we get options. We get options that have to do with the rectangle tool. And if you hold the rectangle tool down, there's also other tools underneath some of these tools. And then if we hold down like a different tool, like the zoom tool, like the zoom tool, you'll get, you know, settings in the properties panel or options in the properties panel that have to do with that tool specifically. You can also customize the tools panel to display only the tools that you need or use the most often. You can arrange these, you can rearrange these. So I think we can edit the toolbar. Let's see. I want to maybe, okay, that's, I'm not quite sure where that's at. Might have to make this, not seeing that. Might be because I didn't update. But anyway, there's options for actually customizing the tool panel. Anyway, I don't have those options, but you guys do. And so we're going to add some graphics. We're going to use the Polystar tool to add a little decoration to our short animation. So let's see here. Let's do, we'll create a new layer here. We don't want that inside of there though, we want it outside of the photo. So I'm going to click it and drag it. I didn't realize I was still on that layer. And then we're going to make this layer, we're going to name it stars. Double click, stars, enter, or click outside. Make sure we're on this layer. We can lock the other layers below it just to kind of, I don't know, so we don't end up moving anything around while we're messing with the stars. So in the play, we'll move the playhead to, oops, I don't want to move my, I want to grab the playhead itself. We want to move this, oh, oops, went way too far. So we want to go to 36, which I believe is right here. And then we'll do insert keyframe, timeline keyframe. Oops, didn't work. Sorry, I need to click down here. Or wait, we want to be in the stars layer though. Okay, that did work because there's a keyframe there. So we'll insert that new keyframe, and then this is where we'll create star shapes that will appear in frame 36 in this layer. So in the tools panel, select the Polystar tool, which is it this one? Which is a hexagon shape. And in the properties panel, let's click on the colored square. This one right here, the stroke color. And select the red diagonal line, which is this one. We don't want a stroke. So that means no stroke color. I think I'm running out of time, but we'll click on the colored square, which is the fill option of this shape that we're going to make. And we'll just find a bright, cheery yellow color, which is right here. And that will be the color of our stars that we bring in. Let's see. I think I will just stop here and then we'll continue on with the next video drawing those shapes because I'm running out of time.